Have you ever said to yourself, "Tomorrow, I will change my life. Tomorrow, I will wake up early. Tomorrow, I will exercise. Tomorrow, I will study. Tomorrow, I will stop wasting time. Tomorrow, I will become a better person." But somehow, tomorrow never comes. Days pass. Weeks pass. Months pass. And your life stays exactly the same. Why does this happen? Why do we know what is right, but still choose what is easy? The answer is hidden inside our own mind. Your biggest enemy is not failure. It is not bad luck. It is not other people. Sometimes, your biggest enemy lives inside your own head. And today's story is about one young man who learned how to control his mind before it destroyed his future. Listen carefully, because maybe this story is also about you. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the English Academy. I hope you are having a wonderful day. If you are new here, welcome to our English learning family. On this channel, we learn English through simple, interesting, and inspiring stories. These stories help you improve your vocabulary, practice your listening, build your confidence, and at the same time, learn valuable life lessons. Today's story is called Control Your Mind. So, sit back, relax, listen carefully, and enjoy the journey. Now, let's begin. There was a young man. His name was Ryan. Ryan was 23 years old. He lived in a small town with his parents. He was kind. He was polite. And he had very big dreams. He wanted a successful career, a healthy body, financial freedom, and a happy family. Every night, before going to sleep, Ryan imagined his future. He imagined driving his dream car, helping his parents, traveling the world, living without stress. Those dreams made him smile. But every morning, reality was completely different. His alarm rang. At 6 o'clock. Ryan slowly opened his eyes. He looked at the ceiling and smiled. "This is the day," he whispered. "Today, everything will change." He picked up his phone just to check. One notification. Only 1 minute. He told himself. 1 minute became 5. 5 minutes became 20. 20 minutes became 1 hour. Without realizing, Ryan had already wasted the best part of his morning. He looked at the clock. His smile slowly disappeared. "It's okay," he whispered. "I'll start tomorrow." Tomorrow was Ryan's favorite word. Every dream started tomorrow. Every plan started tomorrow. Every new habit started tomorrow. But tomorrow never became today. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. Months became years. His dreams stayed alive. But his actions never changed. One evening, Ryan stood in front of a mirror. He looked deep into his own eyes. For the first time, he didn't see a future winner. He saw someone full of excuses. Someone waiting for the perfect time. Someone hoping that life would change without changing himself. His eyes filled with tears. He quietly asked himself, "What is wrong with me? I know what I should do. So why don't I do it?" The room was completely silent. But inside his mind, there was a voice. A quiet voice. A comfortable voice. It whispered, "You are tired. You can start tomorrow. You still have time. Relax today. Work tomorrow." Ryan believed every single word. He didn't know that this small voice had been controlling his life for many years. And tomorrow morning, for the first time, someone would challenge everything Ryan believed about himself. The next morning, Ryan woke up before his alarm. The room was still dark. Everything was quiet. He looked at the clock. 5:52. For a moment, he smiled. "Maybe today," he whispered. "Today will be different." He slowly sat on his bed. He stretched his arms. He took a deep breath. His heart was full of hope. Then, the familiar voice returned. "You slept late. Rest for 10 more minutes. You deserve it." Ryan closed his eyes. 10 minutes. Didn't sound dangerous. It sounded comfortable. His hand slowly reached for the blanket. But suddenly, he remembered his face in the mirror. He remembered the tears. He remembered his own question. "What is wrong with me?" Ryan quickly removed the blanket. He stood up. His legs felt heavy. His body wanted to sleep. But for the first time, he refused to listen. He walked to the bathroom. He washed his face with cold water. The cold water woke up his body. But his mind was still fighting. "This is too hard. One day won't change anything. Start next week." Again, the excuses appeared. Ryan looked at his own reflection. He smiled very softly. Then he said, "No. Not today. For the first time, I am making the decision. Not my excuses. Not my fear. Not my comfort. Me." Those simple words made him feel stronger. He walked outside. The morning air was fresh. The streets were almost empty. Birds were singing. The sun was slowly rising. Ryan started walking. 5 minutes became 10. 10 minutes became 20. He wasn't running. He wasn't exercising hard. He was simply keeping a promise to himself. When he returned home, he felt something he had not felt for a very long time. Pride. Not because he achieved something big, but because he finally defeated one small excuse. After breakfast, Ryan sat at his desk. His books were still there. His notebook was still waiting. He opened it. This time, no phone. No music. No distractions. He wrote. Just one page. Then another. Only 30 minutes. But they were 30 honest minutes. Ryan smiled. It feels different. He whispered. Later that afternoon. His phone buzzed. A message appeared. His friends were inviting him to waste the whole evening scrolling videos and doing nothing. Ryan looked at the message. His finger moved toward the screen. The old Ryan would have said yes without thinking. But today, he stopped. He asked himself, will this help my future? Or only entertain me? For a few hours. For the first time. He didn't answer immediately. Because something had started to change. Not outside. Inside his mind. And although Ryan didn't know it yet, life was preparing an even bigger test. A test that would decide whether this new version of Ryan was real or only temporary. Ryan looked at his phone. His friends were still waiting for his reply. One simple message could take him back to his old life. His finger stopped above the screen. Then he locked his phone. Not because he didn't like his friends, but because he loved his future a little more. He placed the phone inside a drawer, closed it slowly, and whispered, maybe later. For the first time, Ryan was not running from hard work. He was running from distractions. He returned to his desk, opened his notebook, and started reading. 5 minutes passed. Then 10. Then 20. Something strange was happening. His mind was becoming quieter. The noise inside his head was slowly disappearing. He wasn't perfect. Sometimes he still looked at the drawer. He wondered, what are my friends doing? What if I'm missing something? But every time he remembered the pain he felt in front of the mirror. That memory was stronger than temptation. In the evening, Ryan decided to go for another walk. This time, he left his phone at home. The sky was painted orange. A cool wind touched his face. Children were playing. Old people were smiling. Dogs were running happily. Ryan suddenly realized he had forgotten how beautiful the real world was. 4 months. His eyes had been locked inside a screen. Now, he was finally looking around. While walking, he saw an old man sitting alone on a wooden bench. The old man was feeding birds. Ryan smiled politely. The old man smiled back. Beautiful evening, he said. Ryan nodded. Yes. It really is. The old man looked at Ryan. You look different. Ryan looked surprised. We have never met, he said. The old man laughed softly. I don't know your name. But I know that face. It is the face of someone who is fighting himself. Ryan became silent. The old man continued. When I was young, I fought the same battle. I always blamed my job, my family, my luck. But one day, I discovered the truth. Ryan listened carefully. The strongest prison has no walls. It is built inside your own mind. If your mind controls you, you will always suffer. But if you control your mind, you become truly free. Those words entered Ryan's heart like an arrow. He thanked the old man and slowly walked home. That night, he opened his notebook. On the first page, he wrote, "I will not believe every thought my mind gives me. I will choose my actions, not my excuses." Ryan closed the notebook, turned off the light, and smiled. For the first time in many years, he was excited about tomorrow. But life was about to teach him a painful lesson, because controlling your mind for one day is easy. Controlling it when life becomes difficult is the real challenge. The next morning, Ryan woke up with a smile. He felt stronger. He believed his life was finally changing. But life doesn't test you when everything is easy. It tests you when everything goes wrong. Ryan's phone rang. It was his father. His voice sounded worried. "Ryan, your uncle is in the hospital. We have to leave now." Within minutes, the whole family was on the road. The hospital was crowded. Doctors were running. Nurses were speaking quickly. Everyone looked stressed. Ryan sat quietly outside the room. 4 hours. He waited. His mind started speaking again. "See, life is unfair. Nothing ever goes your way. Why even try?" Ryan lowered his head. The old voice had returned. It was louder than before. After several hours, the doctor came out. He smiled. "Don't worry. He is safe now." Everyone took a deep breath. Ryan looked at his father. His father looked exhausted. There were deep lines on his face. For the first time, Ryan noticed how hard his father worked for the family, without complaining, without making excuses. On the way home, no one spoke. Ryan looked out of the window. His thoughts were different now. He whispered, "Life is short. So why am I wasting it?" That evening, he didn't feel like studying. He didn't feel like walking. He didn't feel like doing anything. His body was tired. His mind was tired. The easy choice was waiting. Just watch videos. Forget today. You can continue tomorrow. Ryan closed his eyes. He almost believed those words. Then he remembered his father's face. He remembered the hospital. He remembered how quickly life can change. Ryan stood up. He didn't study for 3 hours. He didn't exercise for 1 hour. He simply opened his notebook and read one single page. After that, he walked outside. For only 10 minutes. It wasn't perfect. But it was enough. Because Ryan had learned something important. Success is not about doing everything. It is about never giving up completely. Small steps still move you forward. Small progress is still progress. That night, Ryan crossed another day off his calendar. 4 days. 4 promises kept. It wasn't a huge victory. But it was real. Little by little, his confidence was growing. However, someone very close to him was about to laugh at his new lifestyle. And those words would hurt Ryan more than he could imagine. The next morning, Ryan felt more confident. Not because life had become easy, but because he was becoming stronger. He made his bed, drank a glass of water, went for a short walk, and came back with a peaceful mind. After breakfast, he opened his notebook. Just as he started reading, his cousin, Alex, walked into the room. Alex looked at Ryan and laughed. "You, studying?" Ryan smiled. "Yes." Alex shook his head. "Come on, Ryan. You always start and then quit. This won't last. Just like every other time." Ryan stayed silent. Alex continued. "You have been saying, 'I will change,' for years. What makes this time different?" Those words hit Ryan like a heavy stone. For a few seconds, he had no answer. His confidence started to disappear. His mind whispered, "Maybe Alex is right. You always fail. You never finish. Why are you trying again?" Ryan closed his notebook. He looked at the floor. The old Ryan wanted to quit. He wanted to prove everyone right. But then he remembered something. The old man in the park. The strongest prison has no walls. Ryan slowly smiled. He looked at Alex and calmly said, "You may be right. I failed before. Many times. But every successful person was once a beginner. And every beginner fails. The difference is, they don't stop." Alex laughed again. "We'll see." He left the room. The house became quiet again. Ryan took a deep breath. His heart was beating fast. He opened his notebook once more. Not to prove Alex wrong, but to prove himself right. 1 page became 2. 2 pages became 5. Time passed without him noticing. For the first time, he wasn't studying because he felt forced. He was studying because he had a reason. That evening, Ryan wrote a new sentence in his notebook. "People may doubt me, but I will not doubt myself." Outside, the rain started falling. Ryan stood near the window. He watched the raindrops hit the ground. Then he smiled. Rain doesn't stop the seed from growing. It helps it grow. Maybe problems were not stopping him. Maybe they were making him stronger. Ryan went to bed. feeling peaceful. He didn't know that tomorrow, life would give him a choice. A choice between comfort and his biggest dream. And that one decision would reveal who Ryan was truly becoming. The next morning, Ryan woke up, feeling excited. Today, he had a simple plan. Study, exercise, read, and stay away from distractions. After breakfast, his phone rang. It was his best friend, Mark. Ryan, we're going on a trip. Everyone is coming. It will be fun. Come with us. Ryan smiled. When? Mark replied. In 1 hour. Ryan looked at his notebook. Then at his running shoes. Then at his phone. His mind started speaking again. You deserve a break. You've worked hard. You can study tomorrow. It is only one day. The excuses sounded reasonable. Ryan almost agreed. Then he asked himself one question. Will this decision take me closer to my dream, or further away? He stayed silent. Mark was still waiting for an answer. Finally, Ryan said, I'm sorry. I can't come today. There was silence. Then Mark laughed. You've changed. Ryan smiled. Yes. I think I have. He ended the call. For a few seconds, he felt lonely. Very lonely. He wondered if he had made the wrong choice. But instead of opening social media, he opened his notebook. Instead of watching videos, he started reading. 1 hour passed. Then another. His focus was improving. His confidence was growing. Later that afternoon, Ryan went for his daily walk. This time, he decided to run only a little. After 2 minutes, he was breathing heavily. His legs hurt. His body wanted to stop. Again, his mind whispered, enough. You can't do this. Go home. Ryan slowed down. Then he looked at an old tree standing beside the road. The tree was huge, strong, beautiful. Ryan wondered how many years it had taken to become that strong. Not one day. Not 1 week. Not 1 month. Year after year after year. Slowly, patiently, without giving up. Ryan smiled. If a tree needs years to grow, why do I expect my life to change? In 1 week, he started running again. Slowly. Step by step. Not fast, but forward. When he reached home, his clothes were wet. His body was tired. But his heart felt alive. That night, he wrote another lesson in his notebook. Discipline is choosing what you want most instead of what you want now. Ryan closed the notebook, turned off the light, and fell asleep with peace inside his heart. But the next morning, a phone call would bring unexpected news. News That would test everything he had learned. The next morning, Ryan woke up, feeling calm. His mind was becoming quieter. The small habits were slowly changing his life. As he finished breakfast, his phone rang. It was an unknown number. Ryan answered. "Hello." A gentle voice replied. "Good morning. We received your job application. We would like to invite you for an interview." Ryan's eyes opened wide. For a few seconds, he couldn't speak. Then he smiled. "Thank you. I'll be there." The call ended. Ryan looked at the ceiling. A few weeks ago, he had almost forgotten about that application. Now, life was giving him a chance. But along with excitement came fear. His mind whispered, "What if you fail? What if they reject you? What if you're not good enough?" The old voice had returned. Ryan closed his eyes. Then he remembered a simple lesson. You don't control the result. You only control your effort. He took a deep breath, opened his notebook, and wrote, "I will prepare. I will not worry." For the next few days, Ryan practiced. Every morning, he improved his English. He read books. He answered interview questions. He even practiced in front of a mirror. Sometimes, he made mistakes. Sometimes, he forgot his words. But this time, he didn't quit. Every mistake became a lesson. Every lesson made him stronger. Finally, interview day arrived. Ryan wore his best shirt. He looked in the mirror. This time, he didn't see a weak young man. He saw someone who was trying. Someone who refused to give up. Outside, the weather was cloudy. As Ryan walked toward the interview office, his heart beat faster. People walked past him. Cars filled the streets. Everything looked normal. But inside Ryan, a battle was happening again. His mind said, "Turn back. You are not ready. You will embarrass yourself." Ryan smiled very softly. Then he whispered, "Thank you for your opinion. But today, I choose courage, not fear." He opened the office door, walked inside, and took his seat. A few minutes later, his name was called. He stood up, took one deep breath, and walked toward the interview room. He had no idea that one simple question would change the direction of his entire life. Ryan slowly opened the interview room door. 3 interviewers were sitting on the other side of the table. They smiled politely. Ryan smiled back. His hands were slightly shaking, but he kept walking forward. "Good morning," he said. "Good morning, Ryan. Please have a seat." Ryan sat down. He took one slow, deep breath. The interview began. They asked simple questions. "Tell us about yourself." Ryan answered. "What are your strengths?" He answered again. What are your goals? Ryan spoke. With confidence. Not perfectly. But honestly. Everything was going well. Then the senior interviewer looked at Ryan and asked one final question. Ryan, tell us about a time when you failed. The room became silent. Ryan lowered his eyes for a moment. Then he smiled. He didn't talk about school. He didn't talk about money. He didn't blame anyone. Instead, he said, the biggest failure of my life was losing the battle inside my own mind. The interviewers looked at him with curiosity. Ryan continued. For years, I had dreams, but no discipline. I always waited for the perfect day. I blamed my luck, my situation, my problems. But one day, I realized my real enemy was not outside. It was my own excuses. I stopped trying to become perfect and started trying to become consistent. Some days I only studied for 30 minutes. Some days I only walked for 10 minutes. But I never stopped completely. That small change changed my entire life. The room was completely quiet. One interviewer smiled. Another nodded slowly. The senior interviewer closed his notebook. Then he said, "Thank you, Ryan. That was a very honest answer. You may go now." Ryan stood up. He thanked everyone. Walked out of the room. As the door closed, his heart was beating fast. He didn't know whether he would get the job. But for the first time, he felt proud. Because today, he had not fought against the interview. He had fought against fear. He walked outside. The cool wind touched his face. Ryan looked at the sky and smiled. Whatever happened next, he knew one thing. He was no longer the same person who always said, "I'll start tomorrow." But later that evening, his phone rang again. This time, the call would change everything. Ryan looked at his phone. His hands were shaking. He took one deep breath. Then, he answered the call. "Hello." A familiar voice replied. "Hello, Ryan. This is Sarah. From the interview team." Ryan's heart started beating faster. He couldn't say a single word. Sarah smiled. "We have good news. You have been selected." Ryan closed his eyes. For a few seconds, everything became silent. The hard mornings. The lonely evenings. The small walks. The difficult choices. The endless self-doubt. Suddenly, they all felt worth it. Ryan softly whispered, "Thank you. Thank you so much." After the call ended, he stood without moving. Then, a smile slowly appeared on his face. Not because he got the job, but because he had finally proved something to himself. He ran to the living room. His parents looked at him. His mother smiled. What happened? Ryan couldn't stop smiling. I got the job. For 1 second. Nobody spoke. Then his mother hugged him. His father placed a hand on his shoulder. I knew you could do it. Ryan looked into his father's eyes. Months ago, he wanted success. Today, he wanted something different. He wanted to make his parents proud. And today, he finally did. That evening, Ryan went back to the small park. The same bench was still there. The same old man was feeding birds. Ryan walked toward him. The old man smiled. I was waiting for you. Ryan laughed. You knew I would come. The old man nodded. People always return to the place where their life changed. Ryan sat beside him. For a few moments, neither of them spoke. Finally, Ryan said, you were right. My biggest enemy was never the world. It was my own mind. The old man smiled. And who won the battle? Ryan looked at the sky. Then he quietly answered, I don't think the battle is over. I think I simply learned how to fight. The old man laughed. Exactly. Your mind will challenge you every single day. But now, you know that you don't have to believe every thought it gives you. Ryan smiled. The sun was slowly setting. The birds flew across the orange sky. Everything looked peaceful. But Ryan knew his journey was only beginning. Because getting the job was not the greatest victory. The greatest victory was becoming the kind of person who never gave up on himself. Ryan stood up, thanked the old man, and slowly walked home. Every step felt lighter than before. Every breath felt full of hope. He had changed. Not overnight. Not by luck. But by making one small decision every single day. And that changed everything. Months passed. Ryan's life looked very different. He had a job, a daily routine, more confidence, and a peaceful mind. But life was still not perfect. Some mornings, he didn't feel like waking up. Some evenings, he wanted to waste time. Some days, he made mistakes. But there was one important difference. He no longer waited for Monday. He no longer waited for next month. He no longer waited for tomorrow. He simply started again. One small step at a time. One afternoon, Ryan opened his old notebook. The first page caught his attention. It said, I will not believe every thought my mind gives me. Ryan smiled. He turned the next page. Then another. Every page reminded him of his journey. The fear. The excuses. The failures. The tears. The small victories. Everything had brought him to this moment. Later that evening, Ryan visited the same park. One last time. The old bench was empty. The old man was not there. Ryan waited for a while, but no one came. He smiled. Maybe the old man had already taught him everything he needed to know. Ryan sat quietly, looking at the sunset. Then he whispered to himself, "The mind will always speak. It will create fear. It will create doubt. It will create excuses. But I don't have to obey every voice inside my head. I choose my actions. I choose my future. I choose the person I want to become." Ryan stood up. He looked at the beautiful sky. Then he started walking. Not because he had reached the finish line, but because life is not about one big victory. It is about winning the small battles every single day. Sometimes the battle is against laziness. Sometimes it is against fear. Sometimes it is against doubt. And sometimes it is simply against giving up. Every time you choose discipline instead of excuses, you win. Every time you choose action instead of delay, you win. Every time you choose courage instead of fear, you win. Remember, you don't become a different person in one day. You become a different person by making better choices every single day. Your future is not built by one big decision. It is built by thousands of small decisions. Starting today, choose wisely, because every choice shapes your future. And never forget, the greatest victory is not becoming better than someone else. The greatest victory is becoming better than the person you were yesterday. Thank you for listening to this story. If you enjoyed learning English through this journey, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs a little hope today, and subscribe to the English Academy for more simple, powerful, and inspiring English stories. Until our next story, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep controlling your mind.